welcome to our channel. Thank you for joining us. For those of you who don't know us, I'm Leanne and this is Babybel. Today we're going to be sharing with you all of the things that we used and didn't use out of our hospital bags during and after labour. We share everything mum and baby related, so if this is something that you like watching, check out our other videos and make sure that you hit that subscribe button if you like them so that you don't miss any future ones. This is my actual list of what I packed in our hospital bags. As you can see, there is quite a lot on there. We had separate bags. I had a cabin size suitcase and Babybel had this little clear one, which actually wasn't big enough, so I would recommend having a slightly bigger one than this. I've got a couple of little tips that I want to share with you before we get into the actual list first that I haven't seen many people mention in other hospital bag videos. First one, pack your baby stuff into separate little bags. So we used little Ziploc bags. Here's one of them that we actually used here. And I put a vest and a baby grow into each one and then labelled it up with the size and the weight on it and whether it was a short sleeved or a long sleeve vest. We also had Ziploc bags for hats and muslins and cotton wool and everything. It just meant that we could reach into the bag, grab everything out, and it was just there rather than having to rummage around looking for stuff. 2, make sure your partner knows exactly what's in the bag, what it is, what it looks like, what it does, what it's for. In amongst all the excitement and the exhaustion, you don't want to have to explain what it is that you need. So if they know what's in there, you can just say, right, I need that baby grow, and they can grab it out for you. Just makes life a lot easier in those first few hours after you've given birth. Third one, have a separate bag packed with extra things for you, baby, and even birth partner, and then just keep it in the car. If you do end up staying in longer than you thought you were going to, you've got it there, and it just means that you haven't got your partner running around at home sending you 15 texts trying to figure out exactly what it is that you mean that you want them to bring in. Fourth thing, and I'm surprised I haven't seen this yet actually on any of the videos, so maybe it's just me, but take a dark towel or a couple of dark towels. There will be a lot of blood even after you've had a shower, and having a dark towel means obviously that you don't have those blood stains staring at you. I took a couple of them and now they're just chopped up and to be used as rags. But again, like I said, maybe that was just me, but a dark towel was definitely one of the things that I would suggest taking. Are you okay there with that water bottle? Onto the list then. I knew that we were going to be in at least 12 to 24 hours after I'd given birth because I had gestational diabetes, so I packed quite a lot into our bags. In my head, I was just going to go with the birth plan and then give birth, rest for a couple of hours and go through my normal routine of having a shower, moisturising, doing my hair and putting my makeup on. That's not what happened. We ended up staying in for 6 days afterwards and we were both very ill, so I'm really glad that we had that extra bag, but even then it still wasn't enough and I had to send John off every day to get different things that we needed. First up, Babybel's bag. On mum groups you see a lot of questions like what clothes should I take and how many different outfits. I knew what size Babybel was supposed to be because I was having regular scans because of the diabetes, so I actually took 2 newborn size outfits and 3 up to 1 month size outfits originally. So we had 5 baby grows and 5 vests. I also took 3 hats. They do put a hat on them for you when they're first born, at least our hospital did provide one, but that does get covered in all sorts of stuff because obviously they just give them a quick wipe over once they're born. So the first hat that we had did get covered in blood and everything. So we had 3 hats originally, and then I think I had some more packed in her bag, the extra bag. Muslins are next on the list and we took 3 of those. I'm glad we did because like a lot of babies, Babybel was a bit sick after each feed and we What are you doing? And we also used, I've completely lost where I'm going. Muslins are next on the list. Like a lot of babies, Babybel was quite sick. What are you doing to me? She was quite sick after each feed when she was first born, so muslins were really useful there, and we used them as bibs as well, so just sort of like put them around her neck so that we didn't spill everything everywhere. Are you all right there? We also took a cellular blanket as well. The hospital do provide blankets, but we took our own one. Which is one that she still uses now. Next is nappies. We had 20 packed in Babybel's bag, and then I think we had an extra 10 packed in the spare bag. We got through those first 20 within probably 48 hours. So if you think that you've got enough nappies, add more. We took size 1 nappies and they were a perfect fit for her at 7.5 pounds. We also took cotton wool and nappy bags to put. We also took cotton wool for clean up and nappy bags as well. We used the cotton wool to give her a clean a couple of days after she was born, just to get the rest of the stuff off of her. There wasn't anywhere to bath her there, and we weren't planning on bathing her until her cord had dropped off anyway, so the cotton wool was useful for that. And then the last thing on Babybel's list for her hospital bag was colostrum. I didn't actually manage to get any colostrum out before she was born, so we didn't end up taking that. Are you biting me? Yeah. So now onto my list. As I said, I had this picture in my head of how it was going to go, and it was the complete opposite to that. I took 1 pair of pyjamas, thinking that I'd probably stay in one night and that would be enough, and then I could just get up and get dressed the next day. I think I lived in pyjamas for the whole 6 days that I was in there. I'd wear a pair and then John would take them home for me and wash them. He actually had to go to Sainsbury's to buy me 2 new pairs. So pyjamas definitely. I did have a hospital gown. Where have you gone now? I did have a hospital gown, but obviously didn't want to be wearing that, especially after I'd had a shower and everything. So pyjamas definitely. Big pants are next on the list. I did see a lot of disposable type big pants, but they seem to be really expensive. So what I did is I went into Asda and bought a couple of packs of like 5 big cotton pants, which were about £4 for a pack of 5, much cheaper than the disposable ones and really comfortable as well. So disposable ones are an option, but it is probably cheaper to go somewhere like Asda or even Primark. Primark wasn't open at the time that I bought mine because we were in lockdown, so Asda was just perfect for me. And then along with that are maternity pads. I bought a couple of different types just to see which ones. Hey. Do you need a feed? Maternity pads obviously go hand in hand with that. As I said at the beginning of the video, there is a lot of blood. I think the hospital did provide me with the first couple of pads that I used, and I'd taken different types with me just to find out which ones I preferred. And I can't actually remember which ones I did prefer. I believe that they were always ones. They are huge. But they seem to be the most comfortable ones. I think I had some Sainsbury's ones which just felt like I was wearing a mattress, so I think the always ones were the best ones for me. I also took breast pads, and I don't think I used them. It took quite a long time for my milk to come in because of how ill I was, so I don't actually think I used breast pads. But even if you're not planning on breastfeeding, it is a good idea to It is a good idea to take breast pads with you because there is a possibility that you will leak while your milk is drying up, and obviously when it first comes in there is a lot of it. I've also got flip-flops on the list which were put in there for using the showers. Obviously lots of people are using the showers, and we ended up in a room on our own, so I wasn't sharing a bathroom with anyone, but I still wore the flip-flops just because you don't really know what's going on in there. So flip-flops, definitely a recommendation. And then in that section I've just got leggings, t-shirt, hoodie and socks. I don't recall using socks because it was boiling in the room that we were in, and I didn't use the leggings and t-shirt. Even when I went home, I went home in a pair of clean pyjamas because they were just more comfortable for me, and it was dark outside so no one could see me. The next section on the list is toiletries. Having a shower after I'd given birth was really important for me. It actually ended up that it was nearly 24 hours later that I was able to move to be able to go and have a shower. Originally I was just going to have a quick shower and use some dry shampoo, but I did pack the little mini shampoos and conditioners in there, and I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did. As I said, I ended up being in there for 6 days, so there was a couple of hair washes, and after giving birth, feeling clean was really, really important for me. I also obviously took toothbrush and toothpaste, and I had to take my glasses and my contact lens stuff as well, which is all on there. I've also got deodorant, which I used, moisturiser, which didn't even come out of the bag, hairbrush, yes I did brush my hair, nipple cream. I don't remember whether I used the nipple cream in hospital or not, because Babybel didn't latch, so I can't remember whether I used it. I know I definitely used it when I got home and started using the Bella baby pump, but I can't recall using it in hospital. In this section I've also got an eye mask which I did use when I was trying to get some sleep at night time, and there's cooling spray on there as well which I didn't use. I'd taken that in case I needed it for when I was in labour, but I don't actually remember getting really hot during labour, so I didn't use that cooling spray, but I'm glad I had it there in case I needed to. And then in that section as well, the last thing in that section is a pillow. I took a pillow from home. I used it in the car to cuddle up to while I was having contractions. I also used it to cuddle up to while I was waiting to be seen when I first got to the hospital, and then I had it on my bed with me for the 6 days that I was in there. The hospital pillows aren't rubbish, but they're not brilliant, and obviously there's nothing quite like your own pillow. The next section on the list is snacks. So because I had GD, I wasn't able to have anything like cakes or chocolate or anything like that. So the snacks that I took in were fruit and nuts and pretzels and water for labour. At least that was the plan. I was in quite a lot of pain, so I didn't eat any snacks, and then I had an epidural. And my next tip for you is, if you are going to have an epidural, make sure that you have something to eat before you have the epidural, because you're not allowed to eat anything once you've had it, and labour could go on for another 15 hours as it did in our case. And once the epidural had kicked in and I no longer felt sick from the pain, I was starving, and I didn't actually end up eating until around 8 hours after I'd given birth. So I think I went for about 28 hours without food, which for me is a really long time. And then for afterwards, I've got on there Lucozade, Ribena, popcorn, cereal bars and cake, which I'd been looking forward to cake for months and months and months, and then I was too ill to eat it for a few days, so that was disappointing. But definitely take snacks in if you do stay in for longer. They don't bring you snacks I didn't have any problem with the food that they brought round, but they don't provide snacks, so being in there for 6 days, I needed lots of snacks. I also took in some straws as well for during labour, because you do get really thirsty, and I should imagine if you have gas and air it's even worse, but it was easy just to have the straw in the cup, and then John was passing it to me after each attempt at pushing. The next section is entertainment. So on that I've got phone charger, and I took an extra long phone charger. The plug sockets in the recovery room were behind me, and I needed a long charger for that, so I'm glad I had that. Whilst I was in labour I didn't use my phone at all, and also straight after, when I went into the like the emergency recovery room, I didn't use my phone then either, apart from to just send a couple of texts to let people know that I was okay, so I wouldn't know where the plug sockets were there, but in our room they were behind me. I took a power bank as well, so that I could charge my phone up if there weren't any plug sockets, which probably seems like a strange thing to say, but you never know. I took a speaker and a playlist, so my plan was to have my labour playlist playing while I was in labour, and I didn't even think about that. That was just a complete waste of time putting that together and packing it in the bag. I took my Kindle with me as well, and I don't think I used my Kindle. I think whenever I had a spare moment I was trying to sleep, because sleeping in hospital is difficult. Even though I was in just a room with Babybel and there wasn't anyone else around me, it was really noisy, so any spare second that I got I was trying to catch up on sleep. But hey, one of the things that I did ask John to bring in for me was a tablet with Netflix stuff downloaded on it for when I was feeding Babybel and that sort of thing. So a tablet or a laptop or your phone with some TV shows on, some easy to watch TV shows, is one of my recommendations, and one of the things that I wish I'd packed originally, because it took me about 3 days to think of that. And then the next section on here is makeup. So I didn't take a huge amount. I've got tinted moisturiser, bronzer, tinted lip balm and setting spray. I didn't even think about it. There was no way I was in any state to be putting makeup on. So makeup was just a complete waste of time for me. Like I said earlier, I had this vision of just being able to do my makeup and just making myself feel a bit more human, but no, that did not happen. And then in the extra bag, I packed a couple more outfits for Babybel. So we had 3 more vests and 3 more baby grows. A couple of extra muslins, 20 more nappies and some more cotton wool, and then we didn't have any more hats, so John actually had to go out and buy some more hats for her. And I took more big pants and then more snacks. So that was what we actually used from our hospital bags. As I said, we ended up staying in a lot longer than expected, so having that extra bag was useful. But because we were there for so long, it wasn't enough still, and it did mean that I had to keep sending John texts with things that I needed, and then he was having to try and figure out what I was talking about and where it was. So another one of my tips may be that just to let your partner know the things that you might need if you do end up staying in. Hopefully you don't have to stay in as long as we did. As usual, we really hope that you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If it did, please remember to give it a thumbs up, leave us a comment letting us know what you enjoyed about it, and hit that subscribe button. It lets YouTube know that the video is worth sharing to other people, and it makes us happy. We'll see you next time. Say bye. Say bye. Say bye, everybody.